As implemented, eliminated.
It would have been done.
And then also.
It would have been done before.
Once a non-conforming lot with a home and family with another property.
That's all right.
Those lots cannot be demolished.
Good, how are you?
Is this the new?
Yeah.
And the comment, they got a comment that said, you know, they came after you get the back.
See the road? Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of them are gone.
Yeah.
There's only three down here.
I don't know.
Yeah. I think it's only three. I don't know about these handicap. Oh, yeah. And do you stop on the intersection? Stop on the side street.
Yeah, there would have never been any out there. They could have taken them all away.
My, but it looks,
Hey, put it back out.
Should have just made that part of the project.
Definitely. Yeah, I know you did it. You did it. You're doing the one. They're not there.
Huh?
The guy was going to sell this piece of property for $175,000.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
yeah, whenever you'd like to start.
thank you.
Welcome.
Timekeeper?
Gavel.
You wanna get out of here? Wow. Everyone, welcome to the September 17th Board of Appeals meeting. We'll start the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. First up, a public hearing will be heard by the Board of Appeals on Wednesday, September 17th, 2025 at 6 p.m. in Town Hall, Room 210, 365 Boston Road, Berwick, Mass. On a petition of Gemco Realty Group Incorporated by Stephen Montini Esquire, whom have appealed to the Board of Appeals for a special permit modification pursuant to sections 5.c.5.c, restaurant, and 5.f use table of the zoning bylaw to expand restaurant seating from 44 seats to 88 seats, 44 indoor, 44 outdoor, in a neighborhood business zone. Said premise located at 509 Middlesex Turnpike, Berwick, Mass, shown on the assessors map, plate 87, parcel 118 and 119, recorded Mass Registry of Deeds, book 28-184, page 93. Council.
The chair and members, for the record, Attorney Stephen Lentini, 630 Boston Road, here in Belicker. I am representing petitioner tonight, Gemco Realty Group, which owns the real estate, and 509 Waterfront Inc., which is the tenant in the principal of the restaurant, which is Turnpike Market Restaurant. With me is Tim with Coffee Drive. Sam is the principal of both entities, Gemco Realty and Turnpike. 509, 50, I always want to call it 509, it's actually 50. Waterfront. And, Sam, most of you know the history here. Sam purchased the property in Turnpike Market in 2014 from Duncan McLennan, who ran that business probably since I was a little, a long time. And, Sam at that point, it was a liquor store, convenience store, and a deli. Right before COVID, actually, Sam came to me with the idea of creating an outdoor restaurant at the, so he was ahead of his time before outdoor dining became popular. We appeared in front of the board, even though the concept was in the works, right when COVID had hit and everything was shutting down and outdoor dining became the vogue in 2020, and that's when this board first granted the restaurant special permit there for outdoor dining. Since that time, the restaurant has been a tremendous success, and you can all judge. I think many of you would probably dine there since that time. A lot of Sam's customers have been clamoring for year-round operation there in the winter time, so that is born the reason why we're here today, that we're going to have an indoor component to the restaurant as well as an outdoor component. The footprint of the building is not going to change. It's just part of what is the convenience store will be part of the restaurant now on the floor plan that we got that was submitted with the application. You have comments from planning and community development to support of the restaurant. You have a comment from conservation, which talks about, I think that was a special permit, an order of conditions that was granted when the construction was first started over there. That wasn't closed out yet. Steve has reached out, Sam has reached out to Steve Dressing with regard to closing that permit out, which is going to need to be done before he applies for the building permits with regard to this new construction, which then will be indoors, but we will be getting that order of conditions closed out. The more important comment that you received is from the engineering department. Because of the construction on the Middlesex Turnpike, that did alter some of the parking that's in front of the store. So the engineering department has asked for a new parking plan or site plan to be done. That obviously wasn't done in time for tonight. We understand that the board won't want to vote on this application here tonight until that revised plan is done by Steve. So we would respectfully request that you delay your vote until that plan is done and defer that vote until the October hearing. Will be back that night. Steve Dresser indicates, and we can tell just by looking at it, it's not going to impact our parking. We will still comply with parking as we do right now on the plan that was submitted for the number of seats that we're requesting. But I think for your peace of mind and to comply with the comment that you got from the engineering department, you will want to see that new plan, which is again impacted by the construction with regard to the construction project. I also appreciate that you got a lot of comments from a lot of neighbors that are sitting here in the audience, and I don't think it would be fair to them who are here tonight and want to make their comments on the project to just continue the hearing until October. I think they should be given an opportunity to be heard this evening as well, rather than saying, okay, everybody come back in October and just continue without fighting. But, you know, I've read those comments, Sam has read those comments, and we feel that a lot of what's going on there right now with regard to parking is largely a result of the construction that's been going on in the Middlesex Turnpike that is starting finally to wrap up. It's been a long project, but there really hasn't, that I'm aware of, that Sam's aware of. Sam tells me, and he hasn't really had a lot of complaints from his neighbors prior to the construction project starting on the Middlesex Turnpike. but we'll let the neighbors can speak for themselves, obviously. But we think that's a major driver of a lot of the complaints in the neighborhood, is the construction that's gone on there, construction vehicles being parked and taking up a lot of the spaces within the area as well. It should be noted that we do comply with parking for the convenience store, the liquor store, and the restaurant. We're not seeking a variance for the parking, even with the additional seats that we're seeking here. We complied point on with our zoning bylaws for restaurant retail parking. So there's not coming in front of this board tonight, or we won't be here back in October when we come in with the revised parking plan, looking for a variance for parking. We're in strict compliance with the zoning bylaws as written. And just want to point out also that, you know, since the restaurant is open, it's been a major contributor to the meal tax that's been helping to support the community as well. So I think Sam runs a good business, you know, success. If he was running a lousy restaurant, you know, there wouldn't be any issues there whatsoever. I mean, it would look like a parking area, maybe. I don't want to belittle any other restaurants in town, but, you know, we all know other restaurants that, you know, they have no problem with parking because they're putting out a good product. You know, Sam puts out a good product. And, you know, again, I think that, you know, he shouldn't be penalized for having a good product, and he's complying with the bylaw. So with that being said, we'll turn it over to questions from the board and questions from the audience.
Okay, thank you. Everybody now?
I don't have one, that's beside the point. I think there's a problem here. And I think, number one, I don't think on this plan, you're not compliant with the number of spaces required. And then number two, I think the bylaw is wrong. Because of the fact, one parking space for every 4 seats in the restaurant. That doesn't work in this case. How many
I
times?
want to interrupt you there. You can have an opinion of the zoning bylaw, and I respect that, but when you said we're not compliant, well, how are we not compliant?
Well, you add this up, and I've got 25 spaces in this. What I would call the main parking lot, the biggest parking lot right at the corner. All right? That gives you what? 25 spaces. Take out the employees, take out the retail side, take out,
So you're questioning Steve's calculation.
yeah,
Okay, all right, I'll get back to Steve, you know.
yeah, I don't see how it works that way.
Well, Steve did the math, he's the engineer, I'm the lawyer, but again, I trust his math, you know, number of employees, number, you know.
No, I see you saying,
Yeah,
and
okay.
like I said, I think that part of the issue is the fact that the bylaw reads.
Yeah.
And allows for too many, and I don't know how you do it, because
Yeah.
what are you
Well,
gonna have?
those are two separate
I mean,
questions.
right, and I gotta, you know, I happened to go down there today. About 2 o'clock, I pulled down, Water Street. And there were already 3 cars, the place, the parking lot here was full, and Water Street had 3 cars on it. And that was 2 o'clock on a Wednesday afternoon. I mean, God bless, he's got a hell of a business there. And everybody seems to say, you know, it's great, food's great, you know, and it's not something you wanna, you know, tie up, but I don't know, we're in a quandary. I'm in a quandary over it. It's not something I don't think, personally, I don't think I can deny anything here, because he complies with the bylaw. If you see a new parking plan. All right,
No, I'm, from everything I've heard in conversations, the new parking plan is gonna apply as well. But again, I don't wanna say you gotta vote tonight.
Yeah.
Without seeing that.
no, I understand that, Steve.
Yeah.
I understand that.
Okay.
And the other thing, just skip my mind. Ooh, it's tough to get up at this age. Um. I had something else. And I mean, the parking, there's really no parking on the turnpike. I mean, they've eliminated,
There's still parking on the
I
turnpike,
think
that's what
there's
Steve,
two or
Steve Field showed that on
Right.
his plan, but, yeah.
I don't know, I mean, I think if they wanna do something, and I understand if the neighbors are upset about Water Street parking or the neighborhood parking, I completely understand. If I was down there, man, forget it. But, we're not, that's not under our jurisdiction. About, well, can you turn around and say no parking on the street? No, we can't. They have to go to the select board. And figure that one out.
Yep.
They're the road commission. Go ahead.
Okay, well. Everybody, how many people are here for this in the audience? Okay, you guys all took the time. If you wanna speak, we'll listen to your concerns, and if you wanna show up again next month, you can. If you don't, we'll already have your concerns taken.
We also have one participant on Zoom with the hand raised, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, so we'll go to Zoom at the end. What I'm gonna do is I'll go down this side, I'll start in the front, and we'll work our way to the back, and then we'll go down this side to the back. Okay? Just name and address for the record and tell us your concerns.
Quality market level, at 8 Water Street, directly next door to the Turnpike Market. When I bought my home, it was beside a small market. Now this restaurant, it's much busier. Cars are blocking my driveway and my street, there's noise that runs late, and it often feels unsafe to come and go. And I feel that really expanding the seating is only going to make these problems worse. Studies show that without adequate on-street parking and safeguards, the others are going to bear the burden. Traffic, noise, loss of neighborhood character. And I've also received inappropriate messages from the owner, which has made living next door extremely stressful. I'm asking you to deny the extension. If any approval is considered, I feel it must be conditioned on, 1, professional traffic and parking study, tied to section 8 of the Bill of zoning bylaws. 2, proven on-lot parking for all seats and employees. And 3, enforceable limits on hours, delivery, weight, and noise. In under section 10, any extension of non-conforming use may only be allowed if it's not substantially more detrimental to the neighborhood. From the daily impact we already face, adding more seats is clearly going to be more detrimental. So I have a few things to submit to you, including an opposition letter that is signed by every Water Street household. My own letter could already be on file, but I provided a copy here in the packet for you. I've also provided photos of the overflow parking and the examples of those problems of communication. And for these reasons, I believe this expansion is substantially more detrimental to the neighborhood and under section 10.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our belief is the original. Yeah.
Actually, if you could give the original to Liz, so I can find it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's okay, we can share. Okay, good now.
My name is Janet Kavanaugh. I was at 15 Water Street in Georgia. Since Sammy Canary have opened the restaurant, I have supported them and my family has supported them and we've got a great relationship. I really want to put that out there because I really feel that that is important in our neighborhood. Since I understand about the construction, I do not feel the construction is the problem. I think their business is booming, which is fantastic. But it's now causing an impact on our neighborhood. Specifically, my biggest concern over the parking is the children. And it goes to sort of what you were saying and what Meg was saying. And I have some pictures I took the other day. The pictures I have are from last Thursday at 1:54 and 1:55 in the afternoon. Both sides of Water Street had cars parked for the Turnpike Market. Now, that's also a time when the children get off the bus. So I have pictures of a propane truck and an SUV driving exactly where the children are walking when they get off the bus. Since
the construction had happened, the engineering department did add parking at the end of Water Street. I think it was to accommodate some of the issues of taking their frontage. It also removed the sidewalk that the children have to safely exit the bus and enter the neighborhood. I will probably email Liz so she can forward you the video where these stilts came from. But essentially, our children are walking in the middle of the road. And I'm fearful of them because the customers, and they can't control what their customers do. But if you expand it, it's only going to get worse. Also, last Thursday, my son was in my neighbor's driveway. And one of their customers came down our road, turned a U-turn in their driveway and almost hit my child, not even knowing that my kid was there. They didn't even see him. And this is an ongoing issue in our neighborhood, which speaks to what Meg was talking about, the quality of life in the neighborhood. They're in our own residences. And it's not their fault. I'm not mad at Family Canary. Please understand that. I don't want them to feel that way. But it is having an impact on us, and our kids are starting to feel unsafe in our own neighborhood. I'm just gonna hand it over to you guys. Thank you for listening to me about that.
Thank you very much.
And as you can see, right where the propane truck and the SUV and now the children are walking, right there is where they have no sidewalk anymore.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. I'm Joanna and I'm at 11 Water. I'm next to Janet. I'm with also neighbor. Just to talk on what they said, it's basically the same thing. I have a 13-month-old, so she's walking and we're going on walks every day, and it's pretty dangerous. I probably almost get hit by a car every day taking her for a walk, because it's usually around those busy times, 1, 2 p.m. And again, I am not opposed to them personally or their business. I have lived in the area my whole life. So I can say what Duncan had before is nothing in comparison to what they've built. It is like they've made a beautiful spot, a beautiful restaurant. And that is not what we're opposing. Myself personally, I am just concerned by the cars and the children. All the bus stops are there. Again, no one's really able to get by. It's already a small road. And then, yes, with the construction, they did take some of our road. But I won't blame that all on the construction. It was already becoming an issue, just because of the timing of the restaurant doing well. And I know it might seem irrelevant to some people that don't have children, but I have a little girl, and I'm also concerned with random strangers parked in front of my house. You know, if something were to go wrong, my child is missing, you always think, oh, well, there was a strange car parked out front. There's always strange cars parked out front now. So it's a little harder for me, and it's a little like on edge as a first-time parent. So thank you for listening.
Thank you. And then the next row. In the back.
Good evening, members of the board. I'm Mary Leach, and I don't live on Water Street. I live on William Road. I'm here today to express my opposition to the proposed expansion of the Turnpike Market because of the issues that have been expressed here. While I appreciate the value of having a high-quality lakeside restaurant in our community, I'm concerned that the current parking situation and related safety issues make expansion premature. Increasing seating capacity without a clear plan to address parking and traffic flow will only worsen the problems and pose risk to both patrons and nearby residents. Until a comprehensive and publicly shared plan is presented to improve parking and ensure pedestrian and traffic safety, I cannot support this project. No, I understand that we do have bylaws that have certain requirements, and that it's not this body here that has anything to do with the bylaws say, that you guys enforce the bylaws, correct? But I really do think that in a situation like this, a business which is in our neighborhood, which is part of our community, could take the step to have some efforts to see what they could do personally to help ameliorate this problem. Perhaps they could look at nearby space and make that something, make agreements with people I've done that with organizations I'm involved with, and I have agreements with the local church to do parking for the farmer's market. Because, they want to help and they know that we're all part of the community. What I don't really like is I don't like the feeling that neighbors are their fears are being dismissed. And I think I've seen proof of that this week. This is not the time to be dismissive. This is the time to work together and come up with a solution and keep the business going well. So I would encourage all of you to think about what the neighbors have said, and I would encourage the owners to think about being part of a community and not dismissing people for their fears, and listening and trying to be part of the solution, not saying I can do it because it's a law. Sometimes the bylaw isn't, having a bylaw or having a rule isn't the best thing. You can actually take it a step further and make it safer for our community. So I would encourage that to happen. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you. You can go, anyone on the front row? Second row?
Daniel Prager, 11 Nuttings Lane. I'm going to start by saying what many other people have already said. I'm a big fan of Turnpike. It's where my family celebrated when we closed on our house in the neighborhood just a few years ago. And this summer, I taught my 4-year-old son how to ride his bike by going to Turnpike Market and getting an M&M cookie. It's done it so many times, he calls the building the Rainbow Cookie Building. I say this because as a neighbor and a father, I am very concerned of the impact of expanding the market will have on the neighborhood. This summer, I was almost hit while pushing a stroller by a patron looking to quickly 3-point turn to park on Water Street. And before anyone mentions it as an excuse, this was before the current road construction happened. From what I have seen, people feel encouraged to park on Water Street, possibly because of the granite steps leading out of the existing parking lot, or because of the new parallel parking spots that the town put on the street. The problem is it's a narrow street, no sidewalks. And when people park into the neighborhood, even on one side only, they restrict the width to the point that I worry about emergency vehicle access. This quadrant of Nuttings Lake only has 2 entrances. The other is at the top of the hill, and restricting an access point is a major disservice to the community. My main point here is that currently Turnpike Market does not seem to have enough spaces to service their current and well-deserved demand. Regardless of what the numbers may say in the code chart, my concern as a resident, a neighbor, a patron, and a father is how more than doubling the seats will impact the existing parking demand, impact an increasingly dangerous intersection, and how it will hinder the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else in the second row? Third row? Back row. I'll take that Zoom now, Liz.
Hello, Jim.
Yep.
Can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. You're free to address the board, sir.
I had to come in late because I had a meeting with a lawyer, but I again would want to say my wife and I enjoy the food that the Turnpike Market has made, and those kinds of things. I would, I'm not a direct abutter. I live on Shady Hill. I would be concerned, and I am concerned, that the fire department, the police department, and an ambulance, if they happen to choose that entrance into our neighborhood when there's a safety emergency, there's not enough space for them to get by the cars. I've also talked to some neighbors as they've pointed out that, they've almost been hit by the cars at Turnpike Market. And that's probably about all I want to say, but I want to say first, and I did, that we enjoy the market, we enjoy the food they make, but it's about the safety of the people in the neighborhood.
Yep. All right, with that, I'm gonna go to the board and we'll get the board's feelings on this so that you guys can leave with that and go from there. Bob, what do you got?
Basically what Ticket said, I had the same concerns. I don't know if it's an old plan or I'm just getting old and I can't see anymore. But I couldn't see that they have the proper amount of parking place. I don't see how it works. Maybe when Steve does the new drawing, he can make it a little bigger for us sight impaired people.
Okay.
And we'll be able to read it better, but I'm listening to all these people and safety is definitely the main thread throughout the whole thing. We need to do, again, it's not our purview to restrict or allow parking on Water Street. That's a different board, as it said. But I think it's something that really needs to be looked into and hopefully if he can get that drawing done. We get something better to base our opinion on of the October meeting.
I'm sure Steve can do a larger scale plan for board.
Okay. Anupam?
I think I will wait for.
Wait for that. Okay. Eric?
Yeah, I'd like to see the new plan, because I'm not counting up the right spaces, but I agree with Dick and Bob. I'm really concerned about Water Street. And if there's overflow now, more than doubling the tables, or the seats, I just don't see how it would work, but I'd like to see the plan.
Okay. You wanna add anything else to, yeah?
No, I think I probably said enough. I just, probably like everybody else, I just wanna say, you got a hell of a business there, and you should be proud of it, because you're doing great. I mean, like I said, I went by there today and my God, 2 o'clock on a Wednesday afternoon. This guy's going, what's he got? Did he give him something away? You know? And guarantee you, a lot of other restaurants in town had nobody, so. You know, I went by a few others and, man, there was plenty of places to park, so. You know, it's too bad, because you've done a great job there. And, I hope we can find a solution. You know, hope we can find a solution.
Why don't they put signs up, resident parking only?
Select board,
That's
Yeah.
like what,
select board,
We
the
can't,
select board, we can't do it.
So why can't that be brought to the select board?
You guys can bring it to the select board, the neighbors can bring it to the select board, we don't bring it to the select board. Somebody can petition the select board to do it.
yeah, we have no jurisdiction on the road.
Is what,
We have no jurisdiction.
I get that, but could that be a solution, part of a solution?
I don't know. What's it gonna do to his business? If he's got no, what is it gonna do? What I can see, it's gonna be a big impact to the business. If there's no parking on Water Street.
At what hours though? I mean, you're gonna have the same amount you have in the summertime, correct? I mean, the porches are gonna be open in the winter, I don't believe. Right? So that
No, but it'll be-
outside.
It'll be exaggerated in the summer months, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
What are you talking, 4 to 8 at night at the most?
I don't know,
no, we're
like I
saying
said,
overflow now.
2 o'clock this afternoon. 2 o'clock this afternoon, there was no place to park but on the street.
Like you said, that's good, but you know.
And then you wanna add
there's
more
other-
seats. See, it doesn't compute. You know, you can put all the numbers on paper, you can actually see it, doesn't compute.
all right, well. We'll leave it with, you know. I don't know if the neighbors wanna try to get a hold of the select board, that's outside of our purview, I don't know if, you know. You'd like to talk to the neighbors again, try to figure something out, but. I've looked at the plan, I've been by there multiple times, there's always cars up and down the road, and it's crazy. Again, great view, congratulations, I mean,
Thank you.
everybody loves it, but it can't be detrimental to your neighbors. So we're gonna continue this to October. Yeah. What's the October meeting?
17th.
October 17th, okay. Um. So we'll continue this to October 17th. Anybody who wants to come, you will not get another notice, so this is your notice.
October 15th.
15th?
I believe.
Okay. 15th, October 15th. 6 P.M., same place. And they'll have a new plan for us and we'll vote on it then.
Planning board meeting that night as well. Second.
I don't know.
I submitted something to the planning board the other day for a site plan special permit, and they said they changed their meeting.
From a Tuesday to a Wednesday?
Or maybe
There
they're
was
meeting
gonna be-
Thursday. They're meeting Thursday, yeah.
Yeah.
You're,
we
no,
were-
I think I'm mistaken, yeah. They were gonna meet Tuesday and now they're meeting Thursday, so.
So we
Yeah,
could
that's
find
my
out
mistake.
tomorrow.
Okay, so you're good?
They're meeting the 15th. Figuring town meeting will be for the 16th instead of Tuesday, the 4th, so.
Okay, so you're good for the 15th?
The meeting would be October 17th, the Friday.
15th, 15th.
So 15th for you, yeah.
It's always the third
So I
Wednesday
can
of the
do
month.
everybody.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, just under there.
Yep,
Will the same Zoom link be used?
When the new parking plan comes in,
hold on 1 second, sir.
the parking count should reflect, I mean, it looks like you counted the spaces on Middlesex Turnpike, which are technically public spaces, so.
Yeah,
It should be parking that's entirely on his property, that's part of the count.
Yeah,
And then we can show the other, public spaces, but again, he has no control over them.
I hope, and again, Steve is smart enough to count the spaces within his property lines.
It just looks like this plan counted the spaces that are on the turnpike.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm not sure where the property line, it is a little confusing with,
Well, it looks like this dark black line here is property line. Here.
I will talk to Steve. And make sure he understands that we got to count the spaces within the property.
Yeah, that's all, I think there's all the party.
Yeah, right, exactly. Liz, is that Zoom link the same Zoom link or is that a new Zoom link? Okay, it'll be a new Zoom link, sir, and will it be posted, Liz?
Yep, it's posted the Monday before the meeting, 48 hours in advance, with a new Zoom link, and I do that in case we have any cancellations or continuations last minute on Friday. So it'll be posted first thing Monday morning.
Okay, got that, sir?
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay,
You can also call me as well to confirm if you'd like.
Say that again.
This is Liz, Jim. You can also call me or email me to confirm it as well.
This is Liz.
You're quite welcome, yeah?
Thank you, Liz. I shall.
You're welcome, sir.
Oh, I don't know, I think we got our numbers.
There are green space there in that town.
all right. A public hearing will be heard by the Board of Appeals on Wednesday, September 17th, 2025 at 6:05 PM in Town Hall Room 210, 365 Boston Road, Billerica, Mass. On the petition of Lisa Lupa and Alice Vera by Studio 26 Associates LLC, whom have appealed to the Board of Appeals for a variance pursuant to section 7 and 7.L and 7.E of the zoning bylaw to reduce the front setback to construct an addition and two-car garage in a rural residence zone.
Finish reading it, but you need to take a vote to accept continuance.
Okay. Yep. Said premise is located at 6 Green Street, Billerica, Mass, as shown on the assessor's map as plate 82, parcel 107-0, and recorded Mass Registry of Deeds, book 19671, page 9. And if you could give me 1 second, sir, I just need to take a vote on something.
We're supposed to public hearing.
No, we did a public hearing open.
Continue.
Okay, so we can continue.
Motion to continue,
Second.
okay, we got Dick and Anupam on the vote. Anupam?
Yeah.
Eric?
Yeah.
Bob?
Yeah.
Dick? And myself, yes, 5-0, continued. Okay, yes, sir. Name, address, and tell us what you'd like to do.
Chair, members of the board. My name is Anthony Nganga. I'm an architect. My office is in Lowell. I'm here for 6 Main Street, representing the owners, Lisa Luda and Carlos Rivera, and Lisa is here with me today. We're here to ask for variance to do accommodation to the existing single family houses here. The owners would like to add a two-car garage. They would also like to extend the existing dining area, with a small home office and a bathroom. The existing house, as it's now, does not meet the zoning bylaws for setback. So it's a corner lot, so both Cedar Hill and Green Street are considered frontage, and the current requirements, I believe, are 35 feet, so it doesn't meet those requirements for both streets at the moment. What we are proposing to do is to encroach a little further onto Cedar Hill, which is where they currently park. So the setback on Green Street is not going to change. That's going to stay the same.
Not according to the plan.
I think that's is an error. So we're gonna keep the same line, possibly just put in a little bit, like 6 inches from the current front face of the house. What you've seen there is a full window that would match the one that's existing to the house. Just, you know, in construction, it's very hard to line up 2 walls and existing and a new one. So the idea is to put a new wall in maybe 6 inches, 4 inches, but we are not encroaching anymore.
Okay.
The new addition is going to respect the side setbacks as required. So we won't be any closer. We won't encroach onto the 15-foot required setback. I believe the 2 variances that we need are setback and lot coverage. So the current house is approximately 875 square feet. The new addition is going to add for the built area approximately 1,000 and so the addition is going to be about 1,093 square feet extra. In terms of the paved area, the new addition reduces the existing driveway, which is all paved. So effectively, we have roughly 341 square feet that's additional impervious area. We hope that that will keep us within limits to not have to do any stormwater management system, because we're going to be under the 500 square feet that's allowed by as the zoning bylaw. I think that's pretty much it. So it's a 2-car garage. We're gonna have some additional usable space within the room space of the parking garage. The owner also wants to add a restroom in the garage just for convenience. From the patio area that's in the back, which we also we need somewhat. They want to cover markings for convenience, and so we have the same access from Cedar Street that they currently have, but now it's not going for bathroom, and then also we will go out to the back patio area. The existing house is pretty much going to remain as is. We're not adding any bedrooms at this point. We're not adding bathrooms, but we have bathrooms in the garage.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, we'll take them now.
Okay. I'm gonna go to the audience, then I'll go to the board, and if they have any questions, you can answer them. Is there anybody in the audience here for or against this? No? Perfect. We'll go to the board. Bob,
No, it looks pretty cut and dry. You said you're gonna be taking up the driveway that's there now, that's gonna be removed.
Not entirely, but we.
But just enough in front of the garage doors.
Yes. Yes, so most of the addition is gonna be, the garage, the mudroom and part of, the extra dining area is gonna sit where the current drive will be. Yes.
That was my only question.
good, Dick?
What's the setbacks?
35-15.
35 and 15. So he's already
He's already 10 under.
10 on the.
Yes.
Okay. All right, I'm fine with it. Huh?
It's zoned rural residential.
Yeah, which is 50,000.
It's close.
It's close. He heads up 5 more lots to us.
Okay, Anupam.
This is on, you need basically the frontage, on Cedar Hill side,
That's the one way going to be.
Yeah, and on the side,
Yes, and on the side, but on the side wheels, you can see we're gonna be 18 feet away
18
from-
yeah.
Yes, and that the required is
15.
No, I'm all set, thank you.
Okay, Eric?
Especially with no one here against it. I actually think it's a very elegant way of doing it, getting a garage in, so I'm good.
Okay. I'm good. I don't see any problem with it. The only thing I'm gonna say is that we're just gonna approve it based upon this proposed certified plot plan. So it's gonna be the 24/9 that's shown here requested and the 20-foot that's shown requested. We'll do it that way just to make life.
Mr. Chair, if I may,
You may.
the full window there would be exempt from the setbacks.
Right.
With the survey and put the dimension to that. So I don't know what the dimension would be, but the bow window itself would be exempt.
Right, it'd be to the foundation, right?
Correct, or the overhang, it looks like, there's a dash line there showing an existing overhang.
Right.
House, the setback would be to that.
Yep.
Neither here nor there, I think you said you're gonna jog it back anyways.
Yeah.
And then the other, I thought I heard you say you were looking for variance on building ground coverage.
Which I don't know, I did the math, it doesn't,
Yeah, looking at what you put together here, you would be under,
still under.
you could have up to 2,500 square feet of building ground coverage, and that looks like you have 55.
Yeah, well, I don't wanna tell you guys.
I think those tables are backwards there, Mark. I think it's 24-14. They're mixed,
2,400.
but still, it's still under.
I don't wanna put myself in the fire, but I think 25% would be 25 countries.
Right, and it shows 24-14.
Yeah, it's. I think. Wait, okay.
You're okay.
Otherwise, they would need to know what they're looking for, what percentage.
But because I say that because as a design professional, it require us to like provide a record drawing. I'm not gonna. I wanna make sure that we meet the requirements and we have to ask for. Right, variance, I'd rather we ask for it to get it.
So, to request the variance, they need to know what they granted relief to. Is it 27% building ground coverage? Is it 28? Is it 29?
If you grant us, approval based on this plan, then we will work with this plan. That's the case.
You don't need approval.
Right,
Thank you.
yeah, you're fine.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second,
On the vote to close, Anupam?
Yes.
Eric?
yes.
Dick, Bob? Yes. Okay, and the chair's yes. I'll take a motion to grant. Dick, Anupam. On the motion to grant, Anupam?
Yes.
Eric?
Yes.
Dick? Bob? Yes. And chair, yes, granted 5-0.
Thank
Just
you
to
very much.
clarify,
Yes,
Chairman, we're reducing the front setback on Green Street minus the bay window from 35 to 24.9.
yeah, that's what,
Window.
that's what, just with her plan. He's gonna be over it anyway, but yeah, do 24.9,
And then on the Cedarville side from 35 to 1.
correct.
And we're going to lot coverage and we go with the lot coverage.
Block coverage he doesn't need. He's fine.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, man. Yeah, we don't count. No, it's 6, 5, it's 6, 10, right?
6:10.
10. All right, public hearing will be heard by the Board of Appeals Wednesday, September 17th, 2025 at 6:10 PM, Town Hall Room 210, 365 Boston Road, Berkeley, Mass. On the petition of Michael Giordano by Brian Doobie, whom have appealed to the Board of Appeals for a variance pursuant to section 7 and 7.l of the zoning bylaw to reduce the front and side setbacks to construct a new home in a rural residence zone. Said premise located at 5 Poplar Street, Berkeley, Mass, as shown on the assessors map, is plate 81, parcel 154-0, and recorded in the Mass Registry of Deeds, book 39-338, page 90. And who is speaking on this?
Speaking on behalf of the property, Mike Giordano, and we also have Dan and Paul West here, who are gonna be purchasing, proposing to be built. So Mike, you covered it pretty well, literally just here requesting a variance for the front yard setback, which is 20 feet, and we're proposing a 14-foot front yard setback, which the existing house is currently.
Okay, so you're looking to demo the existing home and keep the front setback at the existing 14 feet on a new home, and the side setback will stay 10.
It'll stay 10, I believe it's on the side. They're going to propose 10 because hardship is because of the wetlands up there. They're gonna be included.
Okay,
Dan and Paulina are looking for an additional 6 feet in the back. That's really all.
pretty cut and dry, straightforward. Is there anybody in the audience here that wants to speak for or against? Okay. Doesn't matter. We'll go to the second row first, and then we'll go to the third row. Oh, you don't want to speak? Okay. Come on up. Name and address, please.
I'm Barbara Solomon. I live on 20 McGinnis Way.
Okay.
One street over. Living history, I lived there all our lives. And the wetlands is what we're really concerned about. It would be lovely to have a nice new home there. But, a lot of us have some pumps, and it's a result of the wetlands that we're to the right of where they're about to build this way over. And, I'm concerned about the runoff. I don't know where the driveway will be. That would be part of the runoff water, where it would go. It's a driveway. I don't know if the driveway's on the right or the left of the house. I would assume on the left, on the right if you're facing it. It is surrounded by wetlands on, well, the right side and in the back. I know this, a drought, Massachusetts is in a drought. It's very hard to see how we are affected by the wetlands there. But as kids, we skated there. Ducks still come in the spring out there. there are little ones, whatever. It is somewhat, hard to see what it really is like. My other concern is, are they taking trees down? Because certainly that affects the wetlands and how the water is absorbed. Like I said, my concern is mainly from the runoff, where it's gonna go. How that is going to affect the new foundation. It is wet, it's just the way the topography of the land is, it is wet. But with the new foundation, how does that affect also the runoff? Like I said, I don't object to new home here, probably most of us don't, it would be lovely looking. But my concern is the wet, the water. It is always there, has been there all my life, living there, so if some of those answers could be answered for me, I'd appreciate it. But it is the wetlands and the runoff. It's green, so anything that would be taken down that I'm concerned about.
Do you mind if I answer those?
You can answer what you can answer and.
Yeah, we are gonna be filing a full notice of intent and getting a number of conditions.
Oh.
Yeah, we are gonna be filing a full notice of intent and getting an order. We're strictly here for a variance for the same wetland. Like, this has nothing to do with the conservation. That's why we're here, trying to move the house further away. Closer to the street. The street, we're trying to move the new proposed house further away from. Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be the same exact distance off the street as the town is. That's literally, we're asking for a variance, so we can be further away. And then, if this variance gets approved, then we are gonna go to the conservation commission. With notice of intent. And as for the stormwater, that's all regulated. All the stormwater, like the water runoff, we have to put infiltrators in the ground with gutters. That's part of the wrinkle now, we have to get that.
What about trees and taking?
The entire lot's hard.
Right, we do, but yeah.
We can't clear anything until we're. That's all we're gonna leave.
So no other trees.
No.
Okay. Without the work of the, all.
I'm almost positive the town of Berwick will always be funding us. I think I looked, I'm pretty sure the address is 265 Boston Road.
Yep.
Yeah.
I looked on that. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Is the house gonna be centered more on this lot?
We won't know. We usually have a proposed foundation plan. And we go to conservation, but they're not sure the exact location.
But it has to be in that, yeah.
It has to be within the proposed area.
Okay, Brian, what kind of a house are you building?
I actually printed out some plans for neighbors. Let's get it.
Anybody else want to speak about this? While everybody's looking at plans? No? Okay. I don't know. Okay, and just to reiterate what Brian did say, the Board of Health is the enforcement body on stormwater runoff in the town. And there's, new regulations in the town where driveways have to be captured, roof gutters have to be captured. Foundations have to be set 2 feet above the water table. So there's quite a few regulations that they're gonna have to contend with. Yeah. Okay, if there's no one else in the audience for this, I will open it. Not until they make it past this, and then go to conservation and. Yeah, I would assume that if he's starting it now, he's got a few months ahead of him anyways.
We're planning to be in front of conservation.
3 or 4 weeks, and it's probably gonna be a couple of meetings, so.
All right, the board, Annapom,
Comments?
comments,
No, I have no problem.
okay. Eric,
I'm good too.
okay. Dick,
No way of pushing that back a little bit? There's no way of pushing that house back a little bit? I mean, you're 14 feet off the street, and I understand, I mean, being down there, I know there's no traffic. No, it's a down street. You know? That's all, what's the footprint of the house? We don't have an exact footprint yet, we haven't gone to consultation. No, but I mean, what are you proposing? We're proposing a 1,900 square foot colonial for 1 car, maybe a 2-car garage. What's the depth on it? The depth on it might be 42 feet. This is just a proposed plan, I mean, let's go, we have a people fence. It's 32 feet wide, 44 feet long. 32 feet wide, it's this house is in there now. Just trying to gauge by. If I had to guess, I'd say it's like 24 by 28. Yeah. All right. Where you gotta be 100 feet off wetlands? Yeah, 55 foot no build zone, 100, anything within 100 feet is within jurisdiction. My only thing is I'd like to see it pushed back even 5 feet, 6 feet to get the 20 feet back. It's just gives a little more room off the street. Yeah, but it is have 5 or 6 feet. 14, I mean, literally 14 feet doesn't give you enough to park the car in the driveway and keep it on your property.
Yeah, I think what the concern is, if you look at the plot plan, look up there, the side property line is 100 feet. Assuming the wetlands are in the right place and you offset that 100 feet. He is gonna probably get into, you know, conservation saying, we want you to move it out of the 100 feet and he'll be back here.
No, no,
I think
okay,
that's why
they wanna move it, that's why I was wondering, I don't have a scale with me, you know, to see.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a scale, but if you look at the plan, the right side property line's 100 feet. That goes by the house, you probably have, what, maybe 20 feet from what he showed,
Yeah,
it's the
all right.
wetland flag there.
Alright. From our measurements, they wouldn't have much trouble with that. It's an end of the dead end street, the front yard's really usable.
Right, you don't wanna get the footprint of the house within the buffer zone.
Within the, yeah. But that's why we came here first, it's really when we asked. So that's why. Okay.
Bob,
My question.
okay. And I don't have any concerns with it where it is, that street's not like anybody going down that street at 60 miles an hour and losing control. Yeah.
Chairman, I'll make that motion to close the public hearing.
Okay,
Second.
Eric. On the vote to close the public hearing, Annapom?
Yes.
Eric?
Yep.
Bob?
Yes.
Dick?
Yep.
And a chair, yes. I'll take a motion to grant.
So moved. Second.
Dick and Annapom on the motion to grant, Bob?
Yeah.
Dick?
Yep.
Annapom?
Yes.
Eric?
Yep.
And the chair is yes, granted 5-0. All set, Brian.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Welcome to Florida.
We live in.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Then don't, no, welcome.
Didn't you just buy some there?
My wife and I.
Yeah.
Step into the record.
Yeah. Yep.
And we were always looking for a smaller lot, because that was 20,000 square feet.
Right.
It's on a different street.
Yep.
I mean, it's a perfect lot for us, I mean, that's what we're looking for.
Perfect.
So we appreciate that.
All right. All All right, a public hearing will be heard by the Board of Appeals on Wednesday, September 17th, 2025, at 6:15 PM in Town Hall, Room 210, 365 Boston Road, Borica, Mass. On the petition of Sean Sylvia, whom has appealed to the Board of Appeals for an appeal to the Building Commissioner's determination of Mass General Law 40A anti-merger clause to divide the property into 3 lots to construct 3 homes on lots that contain 15,000 square feet, 15,000 square feet, and 12,500 square feet, respectively, in a rural residence zone. Said premise is located at 0 Edgeworth Street, Borica, Mass, as shown in the assessors map as plate 65, parcel 74-1, and recorded in the Mass Registry of Deeds, book 36-541, page 283. And just name and address for the record, and
Good evening, Tom Sylvia, 25 Fern Road, so I'm the one that filed the appeal, but I'm holding it here, so I'm not gonna say too much in it each, but if you pull the map down a little more, you can see at the end of the road is where I live, 25, and then many of the 26, so the biggest concern is we went forward with in front of the board 2 years ago, and we developed those lots, and the water that runs on the street, it runs right now, it's a fountain. So the concern is where's all the water gonna go? The other concern is the road, you know, I've talked to Mark, I've talked to the DPW, they talked about that they have to make the builder accept 4th Ave and then take a right on Bruning, just to the front of the 3 proposed lots, and the concern is, you know, right where it says 4th Ave, it drops off. The question is, a lot of questions, right? Where's the water gonna go? What's gonna happen? So there's just a lot of unknowns, and you know, it's a nice neighborhood. We have nice big lots and it's private. The letter that I submitted to the board talks about flooding of properties, water runoff, drainage, narrow, unacceptable streets. We're supposed to get sewer, I think, this year, and it's been pushed off. We know way behind. So, you know, as a neighborhood, we feel the 3 houses will make it feel like the city. I'll let everyone else speak, but my main concern is water, and I'd like to see the town, if it's gonna pass or it's gonna happen. I don't even know if you guys can stop it with this new law. They should have to finish the street, right? If the street's not wide enough, it's that piece of Burning Road literally has been paved since the 80s. So I moved in 2018, but all my neighbors tell me that there's never been much paving done. Anything about the DPW, that was great patching, very appreciative of that. But it's a very tight neighborhood and the streets not closed, so a lot of concerns there, and I'll let everyone else speak, but thank you for taking the time to listen.
thank you. All right, I'm assuming there's quite a few, so we'll go right here, we'll start here, we'll go this way to the back row, and then we'll go this way. Just name and address.
In Edgeworth Street. So we're the primary abutters to this, and first concern, I don't really understand the law, and I have tried to read it. And also tried to contact a number of and it's been difficult to get anybody to represent us because of a lot of conflict of interest, but anyway, that's another story. So I'm having difficulty with that because it still is a rural zone. I understand the 40A, I think I understand a little bit, but I don't know how we went from allowing 1 house to 3 houses. And like Sean said, my concern is the water and crowding, and they're both really narrow streets as it is. And as of right now, we have water issues last year, and we talked about it when we were here last. The mailman just stopped delivering mail because they were literally getting stuck in front of our house, like, yeah, we can't deliver the mail because there's so much water and so much ice. And I just feel like it's gonna get worse. And that's and crowding, and I just like, we moved there 20 years ago, and it was a rural zone. We've been before the board, I think this is the 4th or 5th time, appealing, well, the owners wanted to build 2 properties in a rural zone that didn't just about have enough land for 1. So we've been here a number of times, and here again, so I just would like, that objection. Thank you.
Thank you.
William Gregory, also like 16 Edgeworth Street. Can I just point to the map?
Yes, sure. Be careful with the touch screen, so you'll have. I mean, you go ahead, but.
So with 16 here, so it's definitely downhill. This property is all higher and everything comes at us here. So Edgeworth Street is not paved. And this is where all the ice comes right here. That's why the post office doesn't deliver them, you know. When it gets really bad right there. And, you know, it's these 3 houses here, just, it rolls going, it always has been, now it's changed, but it was always, you know, you need an acre of land for 1 house. Now there's gonna be 3, and all I can think of is Mink Run Road and Wilmington. If you've ever been down there, it's horrendous. And that's what this is gonna start looking like. And with this new zoning, I don't know, you know, what other plans is what they are gonna be left alone as a buffer. There's a paper street right here. So that was another concern of ours, is that still gonna be there? Are they gonna try to encroach on that bit of property right there? It's supposed to be 50 feet. Right, Paper Street, I believe, I'm not 100%. And then I started thinking, are they gonna try to put houses here next, you know, after they get done with adult? So,
I don't know. I would assume that 4th Ave would remain a paper street. He could not cut anything on 4th Ave.
I've tried to find out like who owns that, you know, because from what I've read, it doesn't necessarily mean the town owns that.
Typically, the butter to Paper Street has the right to utilize the center of the street. So if that's your property, if you're at 16 and it comes right out to the street, you have the right to utilize the center of the street.
Right,
But
no,
I've read
no
that you
structures, no
can't-
cutting.
Right. If you can't improve it, you can't keep, you know, you can't do anything to it, like, you can walk on.
Right, yeah, you can use it.
It could be developed to access the property. But that's.
We're just moving. Yeah, I just didn't know if that's part of the plan that they're trying to access that also. That's a concern that I don't know about. And, obviously, dirt road, it just comes flying down here, just like everybody says, and, you know, even though they've changed the zoning, our concerns are still exactly the same as if, you know, it was still the rural zone. So,
I mean, I can try to answer your question based on the subdivision plan. I don't think the intent is to invest any money into building out 4th Ave. I think he has the frontage that he needs on zoning, but I can't speak for the builder.
Hello.
How you doing?
Frank Finale, and I'm at 26 Bruning Road. I'm the one at the very end of the Bruning Road. Yeah, that one's there. So I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago, I'm gonna maybe more, they paved the beginning of Edgeworth. And that was the beginning of the water problems that I've been having. So we already have a significant water issue there now because the street is not maintained as an accepted street. My whole backyard has become a swamp now because of the lack of attention that's been paid already by the city, unfortunately. The only thing that's saving us is the fact that there's trees and ground cover that absorb water upstream from us now. The edges of the road get become a river, is the best way I can describe it, which splits at 4th Ave and Bruning Road. Half of it goes down on 4th Ave, half of it comes down Bruning Road. The reason that they didn't accept 2 houses 3 years ago, was it? Was because they realized that there was a water problem back then. And they said, no, we won't allow 2. And the developer who had it then said, well, it's not worth it for you to do. He just pulled the whole project. Without doing significant water management on Bruning Road, and I'm told that they're talking about putting driveways all on Bruning Road. It's gonna get unmanageable. It's gotten to the point where I've had to make investments of my own, trying to keep my house accessible. Because the whole end of the street was swamp. I couldn't get into my driveway. Literally, my wife would get stuck in 12-inch ice holes in the winter because I had to reach down to my mailbox on ice. It's gonna get even worse. We take those trees down and those 3 houses. You know, one house may be okay. I don't know. I'm not an architect or someone who manages water, but if they 2, 3 houses up there, it will destroy my end of the street, which is already a problem. So, one house maybe, okay, but 3 houses, there's gonna be no land left up there to soak the water, no trees and no ground cover. So. Pretty much what everyone else did here, but thank you.
Thank you.
My name's Bob Proctor, I live at 34 Fourth Avenue. My house is on that corner of Roydon Road and Fourth Ave. The houses that he's planning to put there, the ground is higher. When it rains, without raining, we have water that comes down the street. I've been living there since 30 years. Before any of that was built, I never had a problem with my septic system. The contractor who built the 2 houses down further on Roydon Road was the one that put the road in improperly because the town made him to do it. Alan was his name that put the road in. It's uneven, it's higher than my property. Where the 3 houses are gonna go to landing in higher, it's always leaking water. It depends on the water table, on how much water we have. There's always a stream of water going down. Sometimes it's so wide, sometimes it's so wide. The sheet of ice, number one. When it rains, in the corner of my property, where Fourth Ave comes into Vernon, I have a 12-inch pond. Because of all the water that comes off that land, it drains right into my property. I had to plug my toilet downstairs because there was so much water that was coming up around my toilet. And sometimes it's really, really bad to where you can't even get down the street. Cars go down the street, well, my neighbor that lives down here in Frank, they go down the street, they're doing this, and they're going down the street. It's always been so bad, it looks like they were dropping mortar rounds on this road. That's the kind of holes that it has, that reminds me of. That's how bad, the town is always down there, fixing this road. And the 3 houses that's gonna be there, it's gonna be worse. It's gonna come to the point, we're never gonna get sewage up there. And it's only gonna get worse for the people that live down there. The grade that runs at a grade of probably 6 to 7 inches as it goes down from here all the way down to here, down to the end of the property where my neighbor lives down there. So it's just too much water that it comes in. Sometimes it's worse than others. It all depends how Mother Nature looks at it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, board members. I'm Susan Halloran. I reside at 6 Edgeworth Street. And when I moved in 26 years ago, there was 4 Edgeworth and 6 Edgeworth. And little did I know, 4.5 Edgeworth would be coming between us because supposedly there was a grandfather clause of a 5,000 square foot lot when there were, for Silver Lake cottages stuff. I have no idea how this thing even perked because besides 2 weeks of nonstop jackhammering through lead, they had a dynamite, the little path that is paved. They had a dynamite up the road. I have cracks all over my foundation and my walls that I have pictures of from it. And, so luckily I'm up on a little hill, so I'm not having the water issue, but, I'm just, very nervous about what they're gonna have to do and what's gonna be entailed, if this goes through. I mean, obviously it's all ledge over there, they're gonna have to do the same thing and. It just makes me very nervous. That's all, thank you.
Thank you.
Michael Rosa, I live at 38 Bruning Road, and I'm at the bottom of the screen. I bought the property. I don't deal with as much water as my neighbors, but I do deal with water. I've been there for about 5 years, 3 seasons. I've had water coming to the basement. It's to the point now, we just have kind of like a permanent barrier by the door with the shop vac that's close by. If they put 3 houses there, like you were saying, it's all ledge, I may start suffering the same fate as the neighbors on the other side of Bruning Road. I'm not opposed to construction or having neighbors or putting something in there, but I think 3 houses is kind of overboard. I don't think it benefits anybody except for the contractors. The rest of us that live there are kind of getting hung out to dry and have to hope for the best. I don't know if there's public utilities on that side. I do have septic in the leach field. The leach field didn't pass inspection where we bought the house, it was already replaced. I believe he was talking about water issues that were the previous one. Not only will those 3 houses need septic and leach fields, if there's no public utilities, it could start to destroy by bringing leach field as well. That's about $25,000, at least 5 years ago. I wouldn't like to see 3 houses go in there. Would it be a bit of an eyesore? Yes, but my primary concern is losing the ability to store things in my basement. Because it can be a battle. Anytime we get a good amount of rain, I start getting nervous. Thankfully, my wife works from home. I've had to leave work on a couple of occasions in order to fight the water back as who's coming in. I don't want to leave, I don't plan on leaving, but I think putting 3 houses there would definitely be a downturn for the neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you.
How's it going? I am Joe Costa. I live at 37 Bruning Road, right across from Mike. Just wanna do a little reminder, we were about 2 years ago, and they were proposing 2 houses, and that was shut down. First time. I don't understand how 3 houses makes any sense there. Like my neighbors, I have a lot of drainage issues. My backyard's basically a swamp. When it rains, I mean, there's always a swamp back there. If I get heavy water, a heavy rain, I mean, it fills up quickly. The whole area has underground rivers, and we get sinkholes all the time. I mean, you go back there during a heavy rain, that whole lot, the whole side of it is like a river. Not just on the right side of Bruning, but on the left side of Bruning. And adding 3 houses, taking out all the trees there, putting in leaching fields, taking out all the dirt that you need for septic. You're taking out the little things there that are absorbing it. Like, I'm not opposed to them building 1 house there, you know. It's a lot, they wanna build 1 house, that's understandable. I mean, you guys shut down 2, I don't understand how 3 makes sense. It's kinda, it sounds a little ridiculous to me. I mean, if you guys ever go down this road, I mean, the middle of it is probably a foot higher than where the cars actually are, because it's in such bad condition. I mean, after every winter, the town comes in, passes holes, they get ripped up every winter. Everything goes with water, and then the other, my other concern is, it says 0 Edgeworth, but I've heard there might be some plans about putting the exit to the house onto Bruning Road. And, I mean, right now, you can't drive 2 cars up there. With dump trucks, with construction vehicles, you know, excavators, chopping down all the trees. Are they gonna be using Bruning Road for all these things? Cause I'm not gonna be able to leave my house if there's a dump truck there. I'm not gonna be able to get home. You know, right now, if there's two cars coming down, someone has to pull to the side to let somebody else through. I mean, going down Bruning Road, you gotta wait for 1 car to go down before I can go back up, you know, if this construction vehicle is there, I'm not gonna be able to get to my house easily. What am I gonna do every day? Go onto the job, say, hey, you guys have to move your van, you guys have to, you know, you guys have to move. My mother has so many health issues. There's, you know, we've had the ambulance there so many times. like, God forbid that happens. How, any emergency service is gonna be able to get to my house, you know? It just doesn't make any sense. I don't know what the plans are for improving the roads. You know, I don't see anyone here to explain any of that to us. Yeah, I just don't see it making any sense for us, in many different ways. There's always been drainage issues there. You know, the added 3 houses, you know, how many people are gonna be? There's only 4 houses on the street. You're gonna be doubling the capacity of the street. Doubling, you know, all the water going into the septic tanks, going into the leaching fields. I just don't see it making sense. I think it's gonna cause problems for other properties. I mean, not even on Fourth Ave, there's been other construction and it ruins people's backyards. It blocks all these underground waterways that are somewhat relief for all this water. You know, it's really just about protecting people's homes and, you know, think about the people that are already there and, you know, what this is gonna cost to them, you know, the damage it can cause. You know, it's about protecting the people that are already there, and you know, we were already here 2 years ago talking about this, and you guys shut it down, and just don't see how it makes any sense now. Yeah, you know, that's some of my concerns. I really don't know the plan, what they're planning on doing to the road, if anything. I would really like to know some of those things. Like I said, there's nobody here today to talk about that for them. I'm not sure who's building it. Yeah, I mean, there's no plans here for it, like, we don't know, you know.
We're not, yeah, we're kind of off track, I mean,
Okay.
is there, you know, is there anyone else that wants to speak? Just before I kinda,
What do you guys think?
so. Unfortunately, what we're here tonight to determine is whether the building commissioner looked at the law that was passed by the state, not Borica, right? And when John was here 2 years ago, or whatever it was, and he wanted 2 houses, you guys all stood up and talked, and John withdrew his petition. We didn't shoot it down. He withdrew his petition and he left on his own because he didn't want to fight with you people. That's what he said. He sat right there and said, I don't want to fight. And he left. And then after that, the state passed this anti-merger law. When the anti-merger law passed, John went to the building commissioner and said, I believe this falls under this anti-merger law. Mark did his due diligence and looked into the anti-merger law and whether these laws qualify. We're here tonight to determine whether we agree that Mark did his due diligence to look into this or not. That's it, unfortunately. I mean, if we deny it and Mark has done his due diligence, John is just gonna appeal this to the state and the state's gonna approve it anyway. If we believe that Mark did his due diligence, and I'm gonna ask Mark, after I get done speaking, to explain his job here. But, you know, we're here to determine whether Mark did his job appropriately, whether we feel that Mark did his job. And that's basically it. None of us think that 3 houses, I would venture to say.
The hardship that this is gonna cause, everybody doesn't count. If you guys don't think that, then why don't you vote against it?
But that's not what we're being
That's
asked.
not what we're being asked to do. We're not, there's not anything, he appealed it, right? So you get a notice to come and speak. He's appealing the fact that Mark didn't do his job appropriately. That's all he's appealing. Unfortunately. Yeah, let's, and if you guys would just let Mark speak, I'd like to hear how he came about this and, you know, unfortunately, your water concerns and stuff, while they're valid, and we all probably feel that they're valid, and we all probably feel that 3 houses are crazy, right? We all probably feel that.
And you're gonna be able to, if they had to dynamite up the road to squeeze one house in between 4 and 6 Edgeworth. You're gonna have to do that for the rest of the street. Hello?
Again, it's not our job yet. Yeah, Mark, could you?
First off, I mean, I don't agree with the state law that was changed. There was a number of things, but. You know, on August 6, 2024, the governor signed into law chapter 150 of the Act of 2024, act relative to the Affordable Homes Act. So the state's trying to spur affordable housing.
Yeah.
They've added, you know, accessory dwelling units, which people become aware of, essentially. Single family zoning goes away every house, family to put an accessory dwelling. That's not it. You guys need to work. They created this merger of lots under common ownership. It determined whether a property, you know, qualifies to it. By grandfathered lots, if lots were held in common ownership, which this lot was, it's made up of a bunch of individual lots. As the town adopted zoning and zoning changed, and I believe it was 1970 or so, they came up with rural residence district, which this property is in. All those lots merged into one lot to try and make it a conforming lot. It's still undersized, doesn't meet the requirements. You couldn't even build one house on it under our current zoning. However, you know, the state put this into effect. Section 10 of the Act amends Mass General Laws 48, subsection 6, by prohibiting merger for zoning purposes of adjacent lots in common ownership if at the time of recording or endorsement of the lots, they, 1, conform to the existing requirements of the area, frontage, width, yard, or depth, where such lot has not less than 10,000 square feet of area, 75 feet of frontage, and 2, they are located in the zoning district that allows for single-family residential use. So accordingly, these lots of question are in a district that allows single-family homes. Lots of single-family homes, and were set out on a plan recorded in or about 1927, which predated the adoption of zoning in the town of Billerica. So I have here, if anybody's interested in looking at out of curiosity, which some of you probably have seen, is the subdivision plan for your entire neighborhood. Which, at the time, these are 2,500 square foot lots. They could have been just like down Nutting's Lake, a cottage or a home built on everything.
Oh, they were all 5,000 square foot, and I'm on 4 of them. That's what Edgeworth was on for, 5,000.
Well, this is the original division plan where they were 2,500 square. This is from 1927.
Okay, sorry about.
Okay.
Can you stop it? Is the question. Is there any, does the town have any authority to stop?
Well, so in a situation, we could just say no. No, and then it gets appealed, and then the town's gonna spend, you know, thousands of dollars on legal fees to lose.
Right.
We've already consulted with town council who said it complies, it meets the requirement of the law. What everybody here tonight, from what I've heard, is concerns over drainage, traffic, roadway improvements. None of these things are zoning issues. If somebody came in with a lot that is completely underwater and swampland, and it meets the area, it meets the frontage, we're gonna tell them it's a buildable lot. Then they can take the next step, which is to go to conservation, who's gonna say, maybe a buildable lot under zoning, but it's wetland. And we're not gonna allow you to build on it, and it stops. So this is the first step. The next step would be, you know, if the board upholds my decision, and believe me, I do not agree with what the state has done here. It's just decimated zoning districts, it's done away with single family zoning. But the next step to this, if the board upholds my decision, would be to file for a building permit and start the process with the Conservation Commission. Start the process with the Board of Health. For
So we have
stormwater.
to make an appeal to the state, is our next step,
So the next step is for the board to make a decision here. They either agree that I've made the correct decision legally, or they disagree.
But their decision of no, does that stop the state?
If they agree with me that I've made the right legal decision, zoning only, anybody can appeal that decision to the state,
And you have to do it in 20 days.
21 days.
Did you say they need to have 75 foot of frontage on the road?
Yes,
No, this plan has that,
yes.
is actually that one.
Based on my initial review, you could fit 4 houses on this lot.
Oh, that's what I heard with the original proposal.
I think he needs to combine the lot because he doesn't want to get into, and this is just an assumption. Doesn't want to get into having to do improvements on the,
Edgeworth side.
I think it's Edgeworth.
So why can't the town, this is the first one, right? The whole town. for the-
No, this was about the 13th.
Yeah, and have you denied any other ones?
One, the rest of them have been approved.
And did that go to court?
No.
Okay, so if you deny this, it's gonna go to court, you guys have to pay $1,000 to have a lawyer, but if you approve it, we have to pay $1,000 to go to court, how's that right? Cause then we have to go to land court.
I understand your neighborhood's concern, but as a town employee that's in charge of zoning and consulting with, I go to town council. The town council says, don't do that, it's a bad idea.
I understand. I'm
So they're
speaking-
directing me that, it complies. You really don't, I don't have any grounds to deny it, it complies with all the zoning. They can overturn my decision. You said you don't agree.
Okay, well, let's look.
I don't-
Let's look for vote.
There's well, to get back, so if they uphold my decision, roadway improvements, stormwater management, drainage, all of that will have to be addressed as this moves forward towards obtaining a building permit. And a lot of the laws from, like the town doesn't do any improvements on the road because legally it's not a publicly accepted road, so they can't expend any chapter 90 funds on it. When this goes forward and, whoever ends up with these that wants to build on it, they're gonna go in front of DPW and DPW is gonna look at it as, we want this brought up so that we can accept it. Then we can have chapter 90 money to use it to maintain it. The same with drainage. There's a Board of Health bylaw that post-development runoff can't be any greater than pre-development runoff. Meaning you can't make the problem worse. And you also need to perk all the water back into the ground. In other words, there's no more, a gutter comes down and just dumps on the driveway. It has to go into an infiltration system that goes in the ground. And he has to be able to prove that the soil conditions and everything are gonna handle the water perking into the ground, or he won't get a stormwater management permit. So there's a lot of
Station meetings, all the other.
potentially, I don't see any wetlands, so there might not be a conservation meeting, but the Board of Health will have
Well, there's gonna be a
Like-
conservation issue when they Fourth Ave. Cause wherever that
Right.
right thing is, Fourth Ave drops off.
like septic for sale. I understand, but from my perspective, I'm just doing zoning, does it meet the letter of the law? I can't, speak and say you can't get a fire truck down there. The fire department could say, hey, we have concerns with this, and for us to approve it, you're gonna have to widen the road, or you're gonna have to do X, Y, and Z.
So we want to make sure we don't waste, that's all.
But we're just looking at the zoning aspect and what the governor did with changing this law. It's to try and spur housing. They're supposed to be starter homes that can't be more than 1,850 square feet. I don't know how those are starter homes, but.
So does this law go from now forward or goes back 100 years?
No, it came into effect,
Well, what I'm saying is it goes all the way back, or does it start from the day it's signed forward?
so it took effect on February 2nd, 2025. But it goes back retroactively to these old recorded plans and old,
So it changes the 1.5 acres.
right,
Rural residential law, it's down the toilet.
correct.
It doesn't count no more.
Correct.
We could all build
It-
3 houses.
In some instances, I mean, a lot of you may be sitting on buildable lots in this neighborhood again, because if you look at the subdivision plan. I mean, you're sitting on a 50,000 square foot lot. Made up of 2,500 square foot lots, that's 50,000 square feet, you need a minimum of 10,000 square feet, you could potentially build 5 homes.
So what department in the state of Massachusetts could refuse this?
Land court,
Land court.
we have to go to land court.
Because it's gonna turn my property into a swamp with all the water that's gonna come
And we
out.
have to hire a lawyer.
Yeah,
That's completely separate
Yeah, I
from
understand.
zoning, you know?
But what you're saying is even if we go to land court,
Well, would you have? The concerns that that I've heard that you've articulated tonight, all have to do with drainage, water, roadway condition. This is the zoning board of appeals, it is really just looking at
no,
area, frontage, dimensional controls.
Right.
And what the area is zoned for. And that's all they have control over, and that's all I made a call on, based on this. You meet the requirement of this new law, you can proceed forward, it doesn't necessarily. I mean, as he's going through the process, it may be, this isn't economically feasible for me for the stuff that I have to do, I'm gonna walk away from it. I can't, you know, it's all ledge, I can't get a septic system in, I can't do X, Y, and Z. But this is the first hurdle to get over to start the process of what's required.
but would this come under the EPA? The Environmental Protection Agency, the way it's destroying the land?
I mean, I don't know all the EPA regulations, but if there's an EPA issue out there, then absolutely, you know, they would have to follow.
We understand it. You're doing the zoning, but it's documented that we're here saying this is gonna cause hardship.
Right.
For what, 8, 10 families?
And the law does not.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Well, sometimes it comes down on the eye.
I mean, I can tell you from my perspective, I've been talking to Sean, I've been talking to, I believe, Karen. This was a zoning decision that was made in my office that, you know, and I got a call from, Senator Hand's office. That somebody had contacted them, and I said, listen, let them know, everything's above board here. You know, they have an opportunity to appeal any decision that's made. The decision wasn't made immediately, I mean, we researched it, double researched it, talked to other attorneys, when the decision was made. I let Sean know that I made a decision today, the clock's ticking if you want to appeal it.
Yeah.
You know, try to be open and transparent about it. But I think. Everyone that's, you know, again, what I've heard tonight is everything other than a zoning issue. You know, the appeal should be, it doesn't comply with this state law because of X or Y or Z.
Bill brought up a great point. You go drive down Main Run and won't be correct. I mean, there's
Right.
30 track barrels on the track day. 16 cars on the road. I mean,
That was a 40
we
B
won't be
project.
able to turn it into that. So it's not just drainage. It's
Right, but
we're
this
gonna turn to a city.
This-
We're already a city.
isn't anything that the town implemented,
No, I
this is a state level.
But you can see our frustration. We're gonna spend thousands to fight for something that we're not even gonna win. So we're asking the town to say no. You put your foot down and you spend the money. You have it. We don't. We don't even-
But listen, hold on a second, excuse me. The town, if we deny it, okay, the select board has to okay the funds
Yeah.
to spend for town council. And the select board may not wanna fight your fight.
Right.
So it's not only, you know, it's not an automatic fight from the town.
So why are we paying taxes then if you're not gonna support it?
Well, it's not that we don't, it's not that we don't support you, we're following the law.
Yeah, but you gotta think, I think everybody think it's crazy, building 3 houses right now.
We all think it's crazy.
It's come up, well, I've been trying to call different attorneys, just, is the, builder of record still Matavia?
As far as I know, yeah.
But they all, I might have commented, and a lot of them did, but that's
We don't even know who the builder.
he just said he can.
As far as I know, I haven't seen anything, you know, I don't think he has either title to the property, he probably has a purchase and sale agreement.
Okay. I could
Probably
probably.
the driveways will be inverted, right? That's fine.
That's what I'm surmising, but again, I haven't seen.
I mean, Bill's water comes from.
This is just the first step, you know,
Yeah, no,
make the determination,
I get
whoever's
it.
gonna buy it is gonna start preparing plans and having it surveyed and get more information.
You know,
Thank you for
like
listening.
Mark said, he may say, you know, he may start talking to DPW, they may say, you're gonna build a road. To town, you know, DPW specs, and you know.
They should.
Just a side note, you got,
Good.
can you bring the map down a little more?
George,
Not past my house, yeah. No, to the left, down.
Oh, down.
Burning down.
this way.
See where the wetland is, there's the house past that. So just a little backstory as well, so there's 15 Burmans over here, can you keep going?
Yep.
So we were getting hit with the subdivision, 4 houses over here. We were gonna have to go to Bloomington Board and all that stuff, he's gonna put in a retention pond and all this stuff over here. And he withdrew, because obviously, we're fine.
But it doesn't show it on the map, the Charles overflow comes to the other side of my property. Which attributes to water also, because the town 10 years ago sent out a letter that they were gonna dredge that back then, the Sharkey overflow, to allow the water to flow freely.
I said, I had it,
Zero anywhere? Not that
by
I know.
this going forward,
Yeah, as far as I know.
it's going to get them to conservation, get them to where they can fight the battle,
Right.
Yeah, these people.
you know?
Yeah.
They can have their concerns addressed.
You know, because we're asking to vote if Mark did his due diligence. Obviously he did. Just the work that he's got here shows that he took the time. He went out, he did what he had to do. Did his job. And that's what we're gonna vote on. But I seriously think that you need to stay together, go to the conservation meeting, go to the DPW, let them know exactly what's going on. And obviously, as Sean has stated, if they have to come down there and repair that road as much as they have to repair it, there is a likelihood, I'm not gonna guarantee it, but strange things happen. That they're gonna have to correct that road. First of all, who's gonna wanna buy a brand new house on a road that bad? Number two, public safety, getting fire engines down there. And I know someone who drives an ambulance is gonna have trouble getting it down there.
It bounces around.
You know, those are issues that these people are gonna have to stay together and fight. I'm sure, I'm speaking for the board, we all wish we could solve your problem. But we can't. It's above our pay grade.
They get notified, right?
Right, you don't, I'll say this, if the board upholds my decision, I'm gonna move forward, I have a lot of your emails in a group contact. Soon as I see something coming in, whether it be a building permit or I become aware of something else going on with it, I will notify you all by email to say, hey, you got a building permit, we've got this, we've got that. In the meantime, you know, again, if the board upholds my decision, you can certainly reach out to Public Works, you can reach out to the Conservation Commission, you can reach out to the Board of Health and let them know, you know, we have various water products down there, so that they're aware of it. You take it into account if and when they do review it.
Sorry, I'm clear, look, the 21 days got after you guys.
21 days or after they make a decision.
Thank you.
And it's, you know, filed, right?
Someone else gets to certified mail, I'm not doing it again. My first one I'm done.
You guys could have asked him, and this is going on the record that we're here saying that this is bad, so he can't say, well, you people didn't say anything
Oh,
about it.
yeah, this is all public record.
Right.
All public record.
And like I said, we wish we could help you, but I know Eric wants to say something as well.
Just, I agree with what everyone's saying. I just, some of you pointed out, was it 2 years ago? We rejected two houses. because they were,
We didn't reject it.
oh, okay.
He-
I'm
he
sorry.
approved.
Sorry. Yeah. I don't think it, at least I wouldn't have voted for it, because I think it's too small for that area anyway. But, so we, as everyone said, we agree with you, but our hands are tied. I mean, unless we disagreed with Mark. But I would definitely go to every department you can, DPW, Conservation, Board of Health, and express the same thing, because they actually have the possibility of stopping.
So just to be clear, once the building permit is issued, that's when we go to these departments, because I've approached DPW, I've approached all these people.
All those approvals need to be in place before we'll issue it. Once he gets a building permit, he can start clear cutting, putting in a foundation, so.
Right.
All that stuff needs to be worked out before he can get a building permit. What are you doing for stormwater? What are you doing for the road? What are you doing for, infiltration? Where's your septic system going?
Is there any plans we can see about where the three houses are going and where?
I don't have any plans for the three houses. I'm gonna have a sample plan of what proposed 1,850 square foot house looks like. But you can't even hold them to that.
Yeah, right.
Like, we do call it big rep.
Really, if you think about it,
They can, I mean, they can call anybody and talk to anybody who will listen to them. I mean,
Point to the state house,
Yeah.
try to
right,
help you.
but, you know, in all due respect. You know, by seeing a house plan. What's that gonna do for me?
Oh, just curious.
It's just curiosity.
Yeah, I'm
But you wanna get,
Nothing yet.
you wanna get to the other boards,
yeah, you wanna get the DPW.
DPW and. Board of
You know,
Health,
engineer, DPW.
Yeah.
Cause a stink.
Yeah, squawk as much as you can.
they're all.
Yeah.
Bother them on. That's what they get paid for. I don't get paid, you guys are just bothering me for free.
So don't your families, okay?
Don't stop, just keep at it, you know, what's that old saying? The rusty wheel hits the oil or something like that.
He has to file for a building permit. And Mark has to send this thing around. To get all these other boards approved. That's when you come in before that.
We appreciate it, thank you. So this is not first step, this is. It's not what you wanna hear, but it's the way to do it. You're doing everything right by the book, all the way. He did his job, going to the next step. And you go on from there.
And hopefully, I mean. I know John McTivia, and I mean, he's a pretty savvy guy, but he's also. He's smart enough, when he sees, you know, a mountain in front of him, he may just say. Screw it.
You walked away the first time, you may
I'm
walk
not-
away.
You know, I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna do this, is too much.
So you guys think we'll, or you say you'll tell us when,
I would say if you haven't sent me an email yet, if you wanna send me one, I'll group them together and any information I have, I'll certainly share it with whoever. I sent me an email, I'm concerned about it.
we had a thing. Yeah, I saw that. What do you,
I mean, I don't agree with what governor did and doing this merger thing, right? I've done zoning for 25, 30 years. But I don't agree with what she's done because she changes everything in the town, all of zoning. The same with the ADUs. The same thing, they changed, everybody now has got two-family lots and
If anybody's interested, it just kinda
so, I mean, it's
explains the law.
not right. It's not right to change things happily.
so you guys don't agree with it, but you're gonna pass it?
But I mean, we really don't,
agreeing.
we're agreeing that he did his job.
If he did his job.
That's what we agree with. We agree that he did his job.
That's what this appeal is, it's an appeal of what Mark did. And he's proven that he.
Whether we feel that he, you know, whether we feel that it's right or wrong, we're just.
I don't feel it.
Right, we're saying that he did his job correctly. That's it. So that's all we can vote on.
Thank you. Just so.
Yeah.
Everybody here knows, I'm gonna try to appeal it to the land court within 20 days, and I did talk to her today.
Hopefully, he doesn't have conflict, he will, if it's not, okay.
If I could just clarify one point. After tonight, by law, I have 14 days to type up these decisions, which are the permits. And then they get stamped by the town clerk. From that next day after the town clerk stamp, starts that
That's
appeal period.
21.
Thank you.
Okay,
Clarify, thank you.
because I have to get them done, have the board come in and sign. That's not the day it gets stamped, it's the next day, because sometimes I don't get to the clerk's office till 10 minutes before. You really can't count a day like that. So after that stamp, it's then 21 days.
So usually, I would say that Liz would have these decisions done probably sometime by next Tuesday.
Take on Monday.
Monday. Okay,
Well, I'm
so
not gonna
Monday, so they'll get recorded on Tuesday, so your 21 days will start on Tuesday.
I'm retired, so I have nothing to do but watch what's going on.
All right, with that, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna take a motion to close the public hearing. Dick, Anupam,
Who's making the motion to close it?
Dick made the motion, Anupam seconded. On the vote to close, Anupam.
Yes.
Dick.
Yeah.
Eric.
Yep.
Bob.
Yes.
And the chair.
Motion to grant.
We got, Dick and Anupam again?
Yeah, motion actually, motion to grant, but we have to deny it, so it's a no vote.
It's a no vote, right?
If we wanna say.
We always do the motion in the affirmative.
Right. The motion is to grant, but whatever you vote. Okay,
Yeah.
on the motion, Anupam,
No.
no. Eric?
No.
Dick?
No.
Bob?
No.
And the chair is no. Motion 05.
Again, good luck. There's quite a few roadblocks you can put in.
In
I mean, DPW is gonna be the one that, when he goes there, they're gonna be the ones that are gonna try to make him bring that up to current DPW specs. So that would be,
Withdraws then.
Would that be
Could be.
making the road wider? Because
Yeah,
I have a
current-
fire hydrant that's on my lawn. It could even be putting drainage in the road.
could be drainage, could be making him do the water and sewer, could be, you know.
Right.
How long have you been doing this?
Thank you very much. Your time.
Good luck.
You know why I asked?
Stay vigilant.
God forbid he has to come to us for a variance.
Thanks, Dan.
Thank you. We got one more thing.
Vote to
Deny. Okay, if I could just take a motion to approve the minutes of the, August 13th meeting.
So moved.
Eric, take a second. Anupam on the second. On the vote to approve the minutes, Anupam?
Yeah.
Eric?
Dick.
Yeah.
Bob?
Yes.
Chair, yes. Okay, we approve the minutes.
Thank you.
Meeting adjourned.
Did the minutes.
We did the minutes, we're done. Wait, Mark wanted something?
Well, I'm gonna take 13 days to sign, to give them all time. Just text her and say, just hit him, and he'll back.
Yeah.